Hi everyone. Today I use Enigma Machine from PAA and I talk about Virginia Hill, the SOE's limping lady. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, how are you? John Balm here, Cape Cod Wet Shaving. Another day, another shave, everyone. Another history shave today. Today's history shave was a request from Bradley at GMP Jammer 1988 on Instagram. How you doing, Bradley? Killer request, man. This is awesome. I have quite the list going here of requests now, so I'm trying to be fair. I do have one from Carlos, Shave on Gents. How you doing, Carlos? However, the set he sent me to do it arrived yesterday as I was finishing up today's topic, so I will be doing that one next. But today's history shave will be about a woman named Virginia Hall. This was an amazing topic for me. It's another World War II one, but that's all right. I try not to smash them together, do too many close together, even though it's one of my favorite topics, anything World War II. But I will get into that in a second. Let me tell you what I'm using. Pre-shave. Already getting messages. Is Subtle Art Soaps Natural Pre-Shave Oil. Love it. One of my favorites. Soap I'll be using today. I had to use this for a World War II spy topic. It's Enigma Machine from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, along with the matching splash. So this is, all it is wild strawberry and oud. Pretty cut and dry. Smells phenomenal. I like it. And the wild strawberry, I think it's more of a tart strawberry scent more than a very overly sweet regular strawberry scent. So I think it goes pretty well. It's pretty cut and dry scent profile. And because of the strawberry, I thought I would throw in Electric Mayhem from Barrister Man as the post-shave balm due to the plum that's in this. I think it matched pretty well with it. We'll see. I've never used them together. And because it's Phoenix, I'll be using the Symmetry straight bar razor from them. There's the old How to Grow a Mustache dude. I don't know if you can see that. Get it to focus, man. That's one thing about my phone. It doesn't want to focus in when I want it to. Oh well. It's hard to see anyways. It's etched in there. It's pretty cool. I'm using Rapira blades with that. I'm still on the fence about these. Whether I like them or not, I don't think I've used them enough. But we will see with today's shave. And I am using my Vie-Long Spanish brown horsehair brush. I haven't used a horsehair in a while, so I thought I'd do that. Too easy to use a Phoenix brush, right? Even though I have several. The coffee of the day I forgot to mention. Sterling's Tanzania. Really good one. You know I'm a fan of the Sterling coffees. I'm set to get them every 2 weeks. That's how quick we go through them. That big old bag, I go through that in 2 weeks. So, all right, I got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to get going. Let me just wet my face again. All right, so Virginia Hall, the SOE's limping lady. Now, the SOE stood for Special Special Operations Executive. All right, it was made by Winston Churchill for spying, literally spying in the United Kingdom, in Britain. So it's interesting because she was American, but let me not get ahead of myself. So Virginia Hall Goyot, G-O-Y-L-L-O-T, was an American who worked with the UK's SOE in France during World War II. Okay? All right. Get to lathering. It's got splashed on the face. Okay, I was making sure that's what that was. She was born in Baltimore, Maryland on April 6, 1906. At school, she studied French, Italian, and German. She also studied French and economics at George Washington University, and obviously these are things that would come in handy for her later on during her spying days, okay? She is a beautiful, or was a beautiful woman. Very attractive, in my opinion. This photo of her is quite a few photos I'm going to do during the shave, but this is one of my favorites. She was very, very damn good looking. Very pretty lady. All right. So to finish her studies, she traveled to Europe and became a clerk in Warsaw, Poland in 1931. So she went overseas in Poland, of all places, in the 30s. So the Nazi Party came to power in Germany in 1933. Obviously, the start of World War II was the invasion of Poland on September 1st, 1939. So she was in Poland 2 years before. Now, the Nazis were a big party, a prominent party in Germany, but they had not yet gotten power in Germany yet. Okay? So in 1933, she accidentally tripped on a fence and shot herself in the left foot. She was out bird hunting. She was an avid outdoors person. We would easily say she was a tomboy today. Or maybe they called her a tomboy back then, I don't know. But she loved hunting, she loved hiking, she loved fishing, she loved all that stuff. Anything with animals and outdoors. So it was not odd for her to be out wild game hunting. So the foot became gangrenous and she almost died. So they had to, unfortunately, amputate her leg just below the knee. Foot was amputated below the knee, and she was then fitted with a wooden appendage that she named Cuthbert. And now it's C-U-T-H-B-E-R-T. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cuthbert. But I don't think this is her exact wooden leg. I think I came across it and I couldn't use the photo. So this is the type of leg she would have worn back then. And I got a kick out of the fact that she named it Cuthbert. In fact, during one of her spying activities, she was on the radio, and whoever was on the other side of the radio, she said, "Cuthbert's slowing me down." She was making an escape or trying to flee or doing something, and she was cutting through the wilderness, and she said, Cuthbert's starting to slow me down. Whoever's on the other side on the radio said, well, if Cuthbert basically doesn't knock it off, you have my permission to eliminate him. They had no idea what she was talking about, so I got a pretty big kick out of that. Also, the incident of her shooting herself in the foot, that was in the papers. I think American, it was in English. Which I find odd. She was from a pretty wealthy family as well. I didn't write that down, but I did read that. And she was expected to be trim and proper, as a woman of that time era of her status was supposed to be. And she was meant to marry within her circle. Instead, she was outgoing, vivacious, and very much, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do and piss on you if you don't like it. My kind of lady. All right, so she eventually moved to Paris just before war broke out in 1939. All right. Paris is not a place you wanted to be in 1939, especially at the end of 1939, because Paris fell in 1940. When Germany invaded on May 10th, 1940, Hall volunteered to drive ambulances for the French army. After the French surrender, she was able to move to London. All right. I couldn't find a photo of her in her ambulance garb. Plenty of women who were in that line of work during the war, volunteering for that. Oud really comes out in this. Great combination. This is, hello Tobin, how you doing real quick? I reached out to Tobin at Tobin's Throwbacks. He's the PAA expert, and I asked him about this stuff. It was an homage to something with the word sex in it. I forget what it is. I don't know if it's specifically meant for women, but I like it a lot. And I think it's kind of, it went by way under the radar. I didn't see anyone else. I've never seen anyone else use it or post about it or anything. So, I don't know. CK6, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. I don't have any of his original formula. Everything I have from PAA is CK6. I can't help myself. It's too damn good. I think easily one of the best vegan formulas I've ever used. So, sorry. Anyway. She managed to impress an undercover agent during her travels. He contacted a senior officer in the SOE. Now, I got to elaborate on how groundbreaking this woman was for what she did for her and for her time and for women. The SOE at this point had no women. None. No operatives whatsoever. In fact, they were not looking for any female operatives, I might say. I think the general consensus was, quite simply, that women just would not be good enough in that line of work. So it was not thought of. The things that she did, the firsts and the things that she did during her tenure doing this, 3.5 years this woman, her life was on the line. There's still things the CIA uses today that she put in place all those years ago. They had never had a female operative and had been failing to insert an agent into France for 6 months. They had not been able to get a spy concretely inserted into France to spy for them in half a year, which is not good when bad things are happening and you need to get someone in there pronto. 6 months is a long time. Okay? Just a little on the thin side. I'll thicken it up here in a second. I like how gentle this scent is. I just posted about banana and fruity scents. I don't mind strawberry. But for fruity scents, I gotta be in the mood for fruit. Like Electric Mayhem, I can't remember the last time I used Electric Mayhem. I just haven't been in a plum mood. Peppered Plum from Crown and Crane. That's another one. I have quite a few fruity ones. Not to list them all off, sorry. But this one, mixed with the oud, is really nice. It's very gentle. It's a very tame scent. Oh, and for those who don't know, the reason I picked Enigma Machine, hopefully you do know, but the Enigma Machine was the spy apparatus used during World War II. And there was a building in Britain, I believe it was called Benchley, where all the code breaking was done. I'm going to be kicking myself if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's called Benchley. I can picture the mansion in my head. It's this beautiful nondescript mansion where it was the code working headquarters of Great Britain and England during the war. So that's where the Enigma Machine came in. I was like looking for a soap to use for this, and I was originally thinking, what was I thinking? Made Man from Shave Dad, because I haven't used it on camera yet, and I'm like, nah, there's too much gangster stuff out there. I'd want to use it for that. And then I completely forgot I had Enigma Machine, and I went, oh my gosh. I just was looking through my stuff, and I went, duh, I would have wept if I had missed that opportunity. Anyway. Alright, so, managed to impress an undercover agent, She arrived in Vichy, France in August 1941, undercover as a war correspondent for the New York Post. There's an official black and white portrait of her. Again, couldn't find anything during her reporter days. I don't think she's going to walk around with a fedora with the cards sticking up with press written on it. But I was hoping to find, something. But she did. She went overseas posing as a war correspondent, which was really good cover as she was a woman. What better job? She couldn't be out there fighting or doing anything risky like the men, for God's sake. Of course she'd want to be a correspondent. Blah, 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 blah. I got 3 pages written here, so bear with me. I am trying to go through them in a reasonable time here. Again, this was, I still had probably a good page easy of stuff that I wish I could have written down. But I am going to do the next best thing, which is I'm going to list a book. And I'm going to put a link in the description below of said book. that I plan on getting, because this woman's story is just that incredible. All right. I had a pimple right next to my ear that I forgot about that I just got. Remember what was it, last shave? I brought my styptic pencil. Or my alum block, didn't need it at all. And we're out of toilet paper, so I gotta grab a wipe. That's annoying. All right, sorry. Where was I? Correspondent, that's what it was. She established, Vichy France, by the way, was the puppet regime put in place by the Nazis to run France for the Nazis. Basically a collaborationist government run out of Vichy. It was based out of the town of Vichy in France. So that's what Vichy France was. Kind of like the Quisling government in Norway. Stupid as that was, he was a collaborationist. If you ever hear the term, don't be a Quisling. One day I should do Vidkun Quisling's history shave on here so everyone knows where that term came from. All right, I'm really getting off topic here, aren't I? Okay, so she established resistance networks and coordinated activities for the French resistance. She learned to change her appearance at the drop of a hat. And then some. This lady, man. That's her on a boat with a dude. I just like that photo, so I threw that in there. On the margin of my page here, I'll put a P with a circle for photo, and then I'll write a real quick description of which photo I want, and I put on boat with guy. Genius. After 12 months, Hall had proven herself so efficient that the SOE had completely changed their stance about women in combat. They also put more women into the field. Okay? So not only did she make people go, holy crap, dude, she's really good at what she does. They went, I wonder if there's other women that'd be good at this. So she opened some doors very quickly. Very important doors very quickly. All right? So the same recognition given to her by her peers, unfortunately, also went both ways. So the same recognition got her noticed by the Nazis. In fact, there's a guy named Klaus Barbie. I didn't write this down, but I'll tell you about it because I know about him. Klaus Barbie, also known as the Butcher of Lyon, was a hunter. And he was put in charge of hunting down hiding Jews and, more importantly, French resistance fighters. And he was very good at it. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was the one responsible for the demise of the young kids in the White Rose, which was a resistance group. Again, another story for another shave. But Klaus Barbie, yes, spelled like the doll, but it's pronounced, I think, sorry, Mike, Herr Damisch, if I'm mispronouncing it. I believe that's how you say it, Barbie. He was after her, so. The Gestapo gave her the moniker the Limping Lady. Here's a sketch of her. This sketch was actually done by one of her peers. I do not know if it was under duress. I can only imagine maybe it was, because why else would you sketch someone that you know and that everyone else in your organization knows? So I imagine this sketch was done for the Gestapo so they would know what she looked like. Okay? So the Gestapo gave her the Limping Lady moniker and dubbed her the most dangerous of Allied spies. There were a lot of spies working for the Allies, and to call her that was pretty significant. So she was, giving them fits, as you would say back then. She was forced to flee to Spain when the Germans took control of Vichy France in 1942. And again, Klaus Bobby was after her. In 1943, she was made an honorary member of the Order of the British Empire. She then joined the American OSS, which was the Office of Strategic Services, a precursor to our modern CIA. All right. To re-enter France. So she went back to France. She's the most hunted twice. She went to France, second time. Most hunted spy by far at this point. France was a hotbed. Okay, it had been under occupation, remember, since 1940. Okay, this is 1943. She went back there. This is also when things were not going well on the Eastern Front with Russia during Operation Barbarossa. So the Germans were getting more and more desperate and more vicious because of that. So to re-enter France, and due to now being infamous to the enemy, Hall took extreme measures to disguise herself. She had a dentist grind her teeth down to appear as a French milkmaid. And this is actually a photo of her, one of her homely, milkmaid, womanly, stay-at-home mom, whatever you want to call it, housewife photos. So she was tall, not tall, sorry. She was thin, lanky, athletic. She was a very active woman. She wore several layers of clothing and sweaters and things like that to make her more portly, which is what this photo is. So this is actually her wearing one of her disguises in that photo. Pretty cool. I've been lathering my face nonstop. Sorry, I'm really getting into this. I'm trying to get through it because I still have a page and a half. All right. Her second tour in France was the most successful. At its apex, she had over 1,500 people working within her network. No pressure. Having 1,500 people under you directly. She armed and trained resistance fighters for missions involving sabotage. This helped pave the way for the D-Day landings and the subsequent invasion at Normandy. So what they did was they screwed up a lot of stuff further inland. So once the Allies got through the defenses in Normandy, on Omaha Beach and all the other beaches, once the Allies got through and got further inland, they found stuff already sabotaged to assist them in just basically plowing right through them. So the network was really down because of them. And the defenses were just hampered that much more because of it. All right. So what they did is they destroyed 4 bridges. And here's a photo of one of the bridges with the damn train over it. So that was well planned. 4 bridges, derailed trains, and severed key rail and phone lines. So they messed them up. Pretty well, I might add. After the war, we're going to jump ahead. So she did a lot of that. And I'm going to go ahead and reinforce what I said earlier. 3.5 years. She could have been found at any moment during those 3.5 years. And the Gestapo and the Nazis were known for making examples of those who resisted them. So her demise would not have been a good one if they had caught her. And knowing this, just that she went back. She was known by then and she still went back. So I'm going to take a brief moment to talk about this soap again. Don't let the strawberry part of it deter you. It is a nice strawberry scent. It is not a fruity, little girly strawberry scent. It's a little bit tart. And it's enough that you know it's there. I actually get really a little bit more oud than I do the strawberry, even though there's a strawberry on the label. I personally really like it. Tobin said he really liked it. I might be completely wrong because I'm not in the messages, you know, on the message boards, the Discords, the subreddits. I'm not in any of that. So I might be talking out my rear end here, but I personally have not really seen anyone use, at least on Instagram or Facebook, any of the groups I belong to, I have not seen anyone use Enigma Machine. I like it. So if you've seen this one, sometimes simple's better. You don't need 50,000 scent notes in something. I mean, I like it. I'm not knocking anyone who does. Makes it for an interesting shave, for sure. But sometimes simple's better, like when Barrister Man did Sandalwood. Just that's hands down, aside from Prorazo Red, my favorite sandalwood scent that I have. Hands down. No contest. And the only reason, so I'll actually say that it's my favorite wet sandalwood, green sandalwood. My favorite dry sandalwood is Prorazo Red. I missed right here. And these blades are doing pretty good. Got my mole. That sucks. Yeah, it's going to be a longer video, I figured, but I'm actually doing better than I thought I would. I want to make sure I do talk about the stuff I use, though. This spot sucks. All right. There we go. And I haven't refilled. Plenty of lather left to go. Okay. Broken train. After the war, she was an analyst for the newly created CIA. She was awarded, please forgive my French, the Croix de Guerre. Croix de Guerre. Guerre. I don't know, but this is what that looked like. By France. She was awarded that for her services to the French, the exiled French government and the French resistance. She was the only civilian, all right, the only civilian woman during World War II to be awarded the U.S. Distinguished Service Cross. Okay? So, the interesting thing about that, President Truman wanted a public ceremony. She declined. She said she wished to not have her identity uncovered due to this being done. I think a lot of it was being humble as well. So she requested a private one, which she got. The only person at this ceremony from the outside civilian world was her mom to bear witness to it. But here's a photo of that. President Truman was instead awarded privately, to which Hall simply stated, "Not bad for a girl from Baltimore." When asked if there's anything she wished to say, that's all she had to say about it. Not bad for a girl from Baltimore. After Truman undoubtedly said, your actions did this and saved this many people, saved this many of our troops, contributed this to the victory, and blah, blah, blah. And that's all she said. Not bad for a girl from Baltimore. Hall refused to discuss her World War II experiences throughout her life. As such, her actions slipped into obscurity. Another thing that I think she purposely intended. The reason I think that is a lot of people, especially the post-World War II veterans. My grandfather included. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. He was a Pearl Harbor survivor, actually. His name was Lehman James Griffith, one of the best men I've ever known. I didn't find out he was a Pearl Harbor survivor until well into my teens. And the only reason then was because there was a book published that he was mentioned in the book, and my grandmother told me. But I remember one time my sister, we were young. I was about 9 or 10. My sister would have been about 6 or 7. And she asked my grandpa, have you ever killed anybody? And I'll never forget the look that came over his face. He just kind of looked at her, and it's hard to describe. I think in that brief moment, for a split second, I don't know how many memories just went through his head before he just came back to reality. We obviously know the answer to that. And my grandma was on her like stink on pig shit. Pardon my French. And my sister didn't know any better. But, you know, it's just one of those things. So, a lot of what's going on in the world, I won't get too far into it. A lot of people did a lot of things and we don't think about it. That's all. That's all I'll say about it. So that's why this topic really hit home for me. I mean, I love the World War II stuff as it is, but I mean, I've never heard of this lady. Why the hell haven't I heard of this lady? You know, that bothers me. So I won't wax too poetic here, get too far into it. Instead, I'm going to pause this, I'm going to rinse, and I'm going to do post, and I'm going to finish this up. I don't know what that was. Be right back. All right. I was doing that. I think that was a Tobin move. I don't know why I decided to do that. I was just laughing at myself while I'm washing my face, rinsing it off. All right. Let me do the splash real quick. So, she refused to discuss her... Oh, so there's a few books put out. I think they're doing 2 movies now. Because a lot of stuff, I think, due to the first book that was written, a lot of recognition came out, which led to other things happening as far as other books and things like that. So what I am going to do is mention the book. I'm pretty sure this is the first book written about her that shed light onto her and her accomplishments. The book is called A Woman of No Importance, which I believe is another quote from her. That's what she called herself. I think it has many connotations. That's what she wanted to come off as during her spying days. That is what I personally think she considered herself to be. We know that is not true at all. I usually don't double dip into the splashes, but this one's good. There's going to be more strawberry in the splash. Oh man, my daughter's going to love that. More strawberry in the splash, but it's not overwhelming. It's really done well. Mixed in with the oud. Yeah, I like that a lot. Good stuff. So the book is called A Woman of No Importance. It has been written by Sonia Purnell. All right. Undoubtedly, I'm sure some of these photos are probably in that book. But that's the cover that I came across. It's pretty cool looking with her walking with her, you know, towards the Nazi guy with the gun hidden under her overcoat there. I am going to put the link to the book down below. Go buy it. I'm going to get it. So Virginia Hall died July 8th, 1982 at her home in Rockville, Maryland at the age of 76. I was born January 28th, 1982. So just right after I was born, I was a little baby. One last thing, which I found amusing, seeing as how she was undercover and all. But she was known by then, so I think it was safe to do so. Although I don't know how she would have reacted to it. She was Time Magazine's Woman of the Year in 1943. And that is Virginia Hall. Again, there's so much more to her. that I haven't talked about. Her story is freaking incredible. She had a niece, and I think this is maybe mentioned in the book, who was asked about, did you ever meet her? And she said, yes. She said, I remember when I was about 16 years old. Her niece is still alive as of the filming of this. When she came in, ragged, pale, dirty, her hair's messed up. And the person interviewing her said, did you talk to her? Did you ask her what's wrong? She said, yeah, I did. She looked, tired and scared. And the interviewer said, what'd she say? And the niece looked at the interviewer and said, she didn't say a word. Absolutely nothing. Like a good spy. All right, ladies and gents, that is Virginia Hall, the limping lady. Fascinating story. Thank you again, Bradley. Killer topic, man. You can tell I really got into this one. I know I'm past the time. That's all right. I just really enjoyed this one. I have some stuff saved. I opened up a folder on my phone to save links for these when I want to go back and read stuff. Crow's Nest Pass is on there. There's some stuff I was reading about that, about the towns around it, actually. Crow's Nest Pass is an interesting area in Canada. But anyway, thank you again. Thank you for watching. I know this is a long one. I really appreciate it. Again, had a lot of fun. If you're thinking about Enigma Machine, I like it. I think it's a really good spring scent. It's not going to be for everyone. If you don't like fruity, you're probably not going to be a huge fan of it. I like it better than banana. I'm not a big banana guy. But the strawberry I really like. And it's not overdone. And it's a good combination of the two, between the splash and the soap. So give it a shot. And I think the Electric Mayhem definitely went well with it. It's a nice pairing. Plum and strawberry. That'll do it. Thank you. Happy spring, everybody. Enjoy that nice weather. It's pouring rain. I think we got a lull in it now, though, but it's supposed to be crappy for the next day or two. But, yeah, make those memories. Have fun. Be safe. Take care of one another. Till next time, happy shaving, everyone.